Okay, it's an Hewlett Packard application lifecycle management. Okay, and we'll discuss pretty quick in this one. Okay, and if you need access to HPLM, you have to request to Tagore. Okay, he will give you access. I don't have these credentials for this. Okay, this is little different way of logging into it. But I hope this tool, Rally and Jira, is working pretty fine, right? You might, you can practice on that. I hope everyone are happy with not logging issues, right? There's no logging issues with um, Rally and Jira, okay? So I guess whoever has access can able to access it, right? But for HPLM, you have to, it's a little convoluted process. So you have to request to Tagore and get the access for this. And I would say just have a look and have an idea. Just don't go deep into this, because it's not necessary you have to use HPLM. Okay. Yes, of course, you might use it. It's not like you will not use it. You will be using it. Okay. It's good to know the knowledge. You have to know it. But thing is, it's not necessary that you will only have HPLM at client place. Okay, it's not really. There's no hard and fast rule on that. Okay, you will get it, you may not get it. So better, have some knowledge. That's good to answer any interview questions. But other than that, I would say keep it simple because this is really this has a really convoluted process of getting the work done. Okay. Okay. So here, let's go here. So you see there's a lot of options here. It's not required. As a tester, you will not be having all this access. Okay. Again, remember this. As a tester, you will not be having all these access. What access you'll be having is only 4 modules. There is requirement module, only read-only access. Now you cannot write read-only. You cannot write anything. You cannot create. Any the user story here. Okay, it will be all disabled. This all will be disabled because you're not supposed to write as a tester. You're not going to write any requirements or the user stories, right? So far, you guys did a lot in Rally. You moved the user story. You deleted the user story. That's fine. Here you can't even do that, and because this is controlled by completely administrator. Okay, and deleting user story is not a very good idea. Okay, so you cannot do anything here. Just you need to read. Okay, just see what's the information there. That's it. That's the thing about requirements module. Okay, so these are, don't bother because you most probably you'll not have access. Okay, mostly you will not unless you're doing a Scrum Master or developer role or something different. Other than that, you see this management, of course, what management module has to do with the tester, right? So obviously you'll not have this access. Dashboard, not required. Okay. Cloud settings may have, may not, based on the project. Okay, it depends. Here you go, testing. Here, what you'll be having is test plan, test lab, and defects module. That's it. That means 4 different modules you'll be having access. Requirements module, test plan module, test lab module, defects. That's it. Performance, if you're working on performance, you'll be having this access. Otherwise, no, you won't have any access to performance. Development, obviously, that's not your job. You're not going to do as a tester. But yeah, if you are a developer, of course, you will be having this. Otherwise, you will not have access. Okay, so 4 different modules. Let's go, a little bit in detail here. So okay, so this, let's see here, here this is a little bit different here, okay, let's let's see, let's make it a little bit more convenient. Yeah, so this is good. Okay, so again, this is kind of divided into 3 3 sidebars kind of thing. Here what you see is various modules where you have access to it, those kind of things. And the second module is what you are, browsing in your project, what project it is, what you have to do. where is your test cases, all this, you're actually browsing, kind of browsing area where you need to figure it out which project you'll be working on, right? And this is this sidebar is more related to information containing about that particular folder, particular test case or something like that. Okay, that means if you're going in detail for this particular, the information contained will be here, okay, in this block. If you're if you're using this one, the information here will shows up here. So three different sidebars. I can take it as sidebar, left sidebar, middle sidebar, and right sidebar. Okay. I mean, this is really not required. If you get organized, if you organize in different ways, this gets moved in different ways, so we'll not bother. So you can keep it simple. Okay. So this is how you can use this one. So okay, and there's the information panel here. So this is kind of information panel where you get the information about each module. Okay, so once, let's say, again, first and foremost, you have to figure it out which project you're working on, right? Which project is yours, and what you'll be working on. So you want to figure it out which requirement you have to view for the project. So let's say there's not a if you see there's not a project right here. I mean, you don't even know which project. So you have to find out. Let's see. Okay, good. So let's say I'm lucky. I found out which my project. And if you are not able to find out, you have to check with your lead and check which the directory it belongs, which folder it has, and you have to check with your lead are documents, any documents is there about HPLM or the project description. You have to go through it and try to understand it. So here I know it. This is my requirement, and this is the information here. So you can see a lot of information. That's it. You will be having this view. This is only to view, and there will be a lot of bunch of information here written in the description. Okay, in this description. Okay, let me. The people who cannot see, just wanted to show. This is the description module. Okay, where the information about the project will be what you are trying to do. Again, don't expect this as a cakewalk. It will never be a cakewalk. Okay, obviously, because again, the same point I'm repeating. I know people will be annoyed because I'm repeating the same thing, because I get the questions kind of same thing. So that's the reason. Okay. So this user story or this requirement is prepared keeping a lot of people in mind: project manager, scrum master. I mean, there is a scrum master, architect. Okay, if you're working in ETL architect. If you're working in QA, then it will be web architect, application architect. Okay. Developers, a lot of coders will be there, a lot of coding will be done, web developer, HTML developer, Ajax developer, so on. Okay, and then testers, then you have the testers, and then your boss, your manager. So a lot of people are involved, right? You see that a lot of people are there. So it's not just a simple thing, test this application. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so they will be putting a lot of information that will not be useful for you, to gather the information to write the test cases, but you have to go through anyway and try to understand it, what they're trying to say and what you have to do. So it's you have to read so many times. So read more than 2-3 times, so you'll be understanding what's actually the point is. So that's this is the thing. And here, if you see this modules, I say just don't bother. You don't have access to you can view it, but you can do nothing. And most of the time, you'll not be having access to this particular tabs. Okay. These are the tabs. Development activity, of course. You can see what development they are trying to do, and link defects. Let's say sometimes what happens when you open a defect, sometimes a complex defect, and that becomes a requirement for the next release. In that case, what they want to do is they will, and there's not enough time to do, right? There's not enough time, and they cannot complete in time within the release, so they push that defect into next release. In that case, that defect becomes a requirement of the next release. Okay, so that's how you want to link the defects. That's the reason you have in the the requirements model. And RTM, we will go a little bit RTM. So it's a requirement traceability matrix, and the definition goes like all the test cases should at least match requirements. That's called RTM. requirement traceability matrix. That means all the test cases, whatever you have written, should match at least one requirement. Okay. Of course, all the requirements should be, written in the test cases, but there's a simple version. All the test cases should match at least one requirement. In the test coverage, you can view this, and this is really business model linkage not required. Risk assessment, not sure you'll be having access to this, but this is more management perspective. And the history you can view it, who is doing what, and what is going on with that requirement. So all this um, you can view, but most of the important thing is for you in the detailed section to understand what the requirement is, and if there is any document, go ahead and click on this. Oops. Okay, so you can go here, attachment. So you see this attachment. See, there's plenty of views to, plenty of ways to do it. So make sure you see all these options. So this is attachment. If there is any document, FRD or BRD, you have to look into this and see what actually the document is. Okay, because not always this information will be sufficient. So sometimes they'll put the attachment saying that please look. They might not even say that look into this. You have to figure it out yourself. It's your job. They might not even say that look into this, attachments. Nobody bothers. Okay, so make sure you look into this and see if there is an attachment. Okay, so that's what you have to look into. And this, of course, these tabs, these fields are not filled by you, so you don't have to worry about it. Any questions so far? So that's the requirements module where you will be actually just viewing your requirements. So what's the requirement and what are you writing test cases against? You have to write a test case against some requirement, right? So that's the reason you're writing a test case because of this requirement. Okay, that's what it is. You have to look into it and understand what is the point and start writing test cases. Okay, let's go to the next one. No questions. We'll move to the next module. Test plan module. So now this is not the test plan that we have talked before. The test plan document is completely different. Test plan document is a high-level document prepared by a QA. Now this is a module. This is a module in a HPALM. This is nothing to do with the document. Okay, you understand the difference? This is a module and that is a document. Now, if any interviewer asks you, okay, what is test plan? So you have to make sure you are answering the right question. So in that case, you want to make sure that you answer both of things, because sometimes you don't want to ask a question. Are you asking about HPLM test plan or test plan document? You don't want to ask questions every time. You want to give both the information, okay? Saying like, yeah, as far as HPLM is concerned, test plan is a module where we write the test cases. And if you are asking a question on test plan document, then it's a test plan document is a high-level document prepared by the QA. So that's the reason you have to give both answers so that it's you look better on the interview. Saying, okay, this guy knows some stuff, right? So you have to make sure if such kind of questions comes up, you have to give both the answers. It's not really always feasible to ask a counter question to the interviewer. It's really not a good idea to always ask a counter question at that time. Okay, so make sure, because I take a lot of interviews, people keep asking me, should I say some, should I say more? It's really not a good idea to ask this. Okay, if you have to tell both or all the above. Okay, so here let's go here. So again, so the problem is you have to create a folder for yourself. Okay, so this is one folder which is root directory, which is have a lot of, you see a lot of projects, right? So again, there will be a lot of projects here. You have to figure it out which project you're working on. Okay, now let's say I figured out my project. Okay, good. So let's say I found my project. So this is my project, and I'll be working on it. So a lot of people will be working on the same project, right? Some are performance guys, some are regression guys. Of course, they will be after QA, but just in case, right? There's other teams. There are other teams. So a lot of people will be there. So you're not alone. Okay. So a lot of test cases will be here all the way. So you want to create your own directory so that you know that you are working on that, right? Let's say your name. Okay. Let's say your name. You can create in your name and create a directory for that. So let's say here, and make sure you highlight this directory because this is the project name and you are working in that project, and create. Let's do this. You know what? I'll just create based on this project, and make sure you highlight it and create a new folder and put the name. And, okay, so let's created it and click on OK. So now this is not pretty organized. You see this, that thing went at the end. So I want to organize it, so I will refresh it. So once I refresh it, it gets back to this. Okay, so here I created my directory. So now this is just a directory. You didn't do nothing. Okay, just a directory, and it's empty, right? See, this is empty. It's nothing to do with it. So what you want to do is you have to create a framework. Okay, you want to write your test cases, right? Not write your test cases, so you have to create a framework to write your test cases. So what you want to do is click on this. So I'll use this and let's see how this works. Okay, and click on new test. Okay, good. And here you want to fill up all this information. Okay. So we discussed about this, right? In Rally, you have to fill up all this. So you want to put, the guy who is reviewer, your lead. Most probably you'll be having your lead will be reviewing it, and therefore how much time it is required and test priority and all this. Once you fill up this, and make sure you don't want to use these attachments here for now. Okay, and those are not really helpful. And click on OK. Okay, good. If you see this, now I have created a framework. Now I can see my design steps, right? Before I just created a folder, so there was nothing. Now you have created a framework so that you can actually write your test cases. Okay. Okay. Now let's go to click on design steps. If you see this, there's a new tab shown up here. Okay. And what I'll do is, so we have written already test cases, right? So what I'll do is, I'll just copy from my previous test cases. See this copy option, copy it, and I'll just go ahead and click here and paste. Okay, so mostly you will be doing this, copy paste, and make sure you change this information, whatever is here. Okay, and change whatever as per your requirement, as per your you have to change all this. And once you have done that, okay, so we are good to go. Now the steps, our test cases are ready. Or if you want to add new test case, you can click on this. So these are steps. Okay, it's actually one test case. Okay, this is like one. This kind of set. Okay, it's a set because it contains various steps, right? Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. Okay, so one test case can contain 20 steps. Okay, 10 steps are based on the based on how the project is. Okay, so once you have done this, we'll see here various modules. Details, if you want to update any details here, like preconditions and post conditions and all this information here. Okay, and if you see here, the test ID is generated for you. And if you see, this is information here, and then go to the next tab is parameters. You really don't have parameters in manual. If you're working on automation, like automation script and all those, you will be having these parameters. Otherwise, you normally don't have parameters. Attachments, don't use it. So it's a little bit complicated here, right? This attachment is completely different from this attachment. Okay, so don't ask why. Okay, this is completely different. So I would not use it either way, because I'll be using test lab module attachments. Okay, anything please put in test lab, not in test plan. Okay, this attachment is completely different from this attachment. Okay, so make sure you understand that. And so next, go to test configurations. So if you have any configurations here, you can see it here. And then requirement coverage. So this is what you will be doing RTM here. Okay, how many test cases are linked with your requirement. So let's see here. Let's click on select requirement. So now once here you are browsing the requirement module. See here, a new sidebar showed up in the left side, and you are actually browsing here. So you are looking to the project in the requirement. So let's see here, where is my requirement? So might be gone up. Okay, good. This is my requirement, and what I'll do is either I can use this and drag it here, add to coverage, or I'll just drag it and drag and drop and say okay, and I close this. So now what I did is, no, this is not really required. So what I do is I'll just click and remove this. Okay, good. Now what I did is I've just linked my test cases to that particular requirement. So that's called RTM, requirement traceability matrix. Okay, that means all my test cases are at least linked to one requirement. So that's what it means by RTM. Okay, does it make sense? Now let's go to the different modules. Link defects. Now you don't want to use this one, honestly. Again, there's no reason to use this. I mean, this link defects is completely different from this link defects. Okay, now don't use too many things. Okay, you'll get confused here. Okay, it's nothing to do with this defects in this section. They are just put it. That's how it is. But you don't have to use it, because if you are using it, you will forget. Did you use this one or did you use this one? Okay. Now there's a lot of difference there. Okay, and you're not able to find it if if you are using in test plan defects. So there's no reason to use defects in the test plan module. So we'll talk about this. Okay. Next is the dependencies and history, and you can see this. What's happening here. Okay. So I have just written my test case, right? I have to check in. This is checked out, right? You see this lock icon with open lock icon, that means it's checked out. I have to check in, right? And the reason you have this check in, so that's the reason, right? So somebody asked, right, what's the difference between this defect module? It's really not required, because you don't want to use it. It's just used to confuse, okay? Because if you're going that, you also have defects in the test lab module, okay? It's too many things. It's not required. So you see this link defects. So you don't want to use any of these modules in test plan. Although it's there, it's good. We don't require that, okay? I've not seen any place using this multiple defect linking for every time, okay? So these attachments, this link defects are really not required. Okay. So the difference is actually when you're using this one, okay, this one gets a whole set, okay, linked to the whole set. But this one gets only for the particular test cases. So that's actually the difference. But Okay, so that's the only major difference on that. Okay, so here if you see this, this is checked out. You want to check in, so you want to use this and check in. Click on check in icon. And the reason you are having this check in check out, because you want to maintain the version control. See this version, so who has done what and what has been changed, all those things. So that's the reason you want to use check in and check out. Okay, I know my test case ID is 1274 and this has to be checked in, so click on that and check in. And if you have any reason of this, you can put it here. Change the test cases, change the test cases from Firefox to Safari test cases. Okay, or so any reason you can put it and click on OK. Now we have successfully checked in. Now if you see this lock icon is gone, so now we are good. Okay, now these are the test cases and I have to execute these test cases. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, good. So let's go to the different module pretty quick. Test lab module. Okay, now if you go here, again, you have to search all the way for the project. If there's no project, you have to create project for yourself. Okay. So yeah, we'll talk about this, how to link the different to the test cases. Okay, here in this case, you have to link manually. Okay, here this is not like a Rally. Rally will automatically help you to link it, but this will not help you automatically. You have to do this manually. Okay. Okay, so here, let's see here. Here you have to again figure it out which project you're working on. This is redundant. This has nothing to do test plan module. Okay, the test plan module, you have this project here, but you have to write it again in test lab. Okay, if you don't find, you have to write it again. And so, it will be, of course, obviously will be there, but if it's not there, you have to create and see, you have to again write some, create your own directory, something like this, and start writing your test lab. Okay, this is called test set. Okay, so here, let's see here. So what I'll do is I'll create here, I'll highlight this and create a set. And oops, so let's do this. Okay, and you have to fill up all this information here. Change that. No, I can fill up that. Change by. Close date. We know this close date. 22nd. Created at. Created by. So this change by is not required until it was reviewed by the lead. And once you fill up all this information, click on OK. Okay, good. So we change this number and click on refresh. Okay, good. So it went to 19. Okay, that's fine. And now if you see, this is empty, right? Now you have just, so what you have done is just your framework for your execution of your test case. Okay. Now this is empty. You want to select your test case that in a new, if you see this, a new sidebar shows up on the left side and the right side, right corner. And once you click, you have to browse all the way for your, this is test plan. What you're browsing is this test plan. Okay. And once you see this, let's see here. Okay, let's say you figure it out your project, and let's see which is the project. And what you want to do is click here and drag it all the way to here. or you can use this option too. Okay, and close this. Okay, so once you have done that, you see this, all the information gets updated here. What's the status and what's the test plan and who is responsible for this. And this is supposed to be updated, but it's not. Okay, so now what we'll do is I have to run this test. This is a set. So this is a set. It's called test set. We have to run. You can drag multiple sets and we can run it. Okay, for now we'll just run one after the other. Okay, now what you have to do is click on run. Okay, so once you have run it, and again we click on begin run. Okay, so now this gets some information here. Okay, so you're running your test cases. That means open the Firefox browser and click this URL. Okay, so for now we'll not open Firefox. We'll use this. And so it says, okay, Firefox and home page of GeoMo Online is displayed. So you want to update this. Home page of GeoMo Online is displayed as Puerto Rico. Okay, and you can pass. Once you pass it, you enter GeoMo Online button. So we see this online catalog page is displayed. Okay, as per the comment, and click on OK. And enter the value 10 for 3% don't 10. Okay, so we'll just put it enter and click place in order. So you have to do this parallelly in this case. Okay, so you have to always update this and start testing. Okay, so you have to do this parallelly here. Okay, and click on okay. Page is directed to the billing page. Okay, let's see here. Page is directed to billing page. Okay, good. Fill up all this information. Okay, we went one step ahead. So just click on this. Now let's say you found some issue. Okay, let's say you found the issue, right? Let's say something happened, shipping and handling fee. Let's say shipping and handling fee is showing as $5. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to fail this test case. So here's the thing: if you fail even one step, you're failing, the whole set gets failed. Okay, let's see here. Now this is here, and I want to fail this. Now this got failed. You see this failed, and I'll stop running this and end run. If you see this status is got failed. Okay, and if you see this is all got updated. Okay, that's how you can execute your test cases. Okay, now remember that you cannot change it just like that status. No, I'll change it to run. Now everybody will know that I've passed the test case. Doesn't work that way. Okay, you cannot change it just like that. Why? Because you will be caught red-handedly here. If you see here, there is that execution time is showing that you've taken some time to execute each test case, right? That takes like 2 minutes or 3 minutes, okay, whatever the time is. But if you are using this and changing like, no, I executed it, I put it past, all the time here shows that 1 second. Now you cannot execute all your test cases at 1 second, right? Let's say there's only 5, but if in 10 test case, let's say you're executing 10 test case, and all the time will be showing the 1, so you cannot use that. Okay, unless specified by your lead or your boss. Okay, you cannot change the status just like that. Yes, Test plan is to create the test cases. Test lab is to execute your test cases. That's the that's the use of this. Okay, so make sure you don't want to change the status just like that. Okay, you want to run it manually just like this, and you have to rerun whenever it is, but you cannot just change it. Okay, it's not really a good idea because they will catch you right here. The time shows, all the time shows 1 second, 1 second. There is no reason to execute 10 test cases in 1 second, right? There's no way to do that. So you cannot use this. So that's very important things, you have to remember. And again, so let's see here. Okay, so here what you want to do, again, you don't want to use these options here. This is execution flow. Okay, you can use this execution flow, that's not wrong. Attachment, you don't want to use. Automation, if you see this, this automation people are doing here. Okay, there's something here, they want to update here. Okay, that's fine. Link defects, again, you don't want to use it. History, you can view it. Okay, so that's it. If you want to use attachments or any link defects, use this. Okay, double click on this, and this pop-up window shows up. Use this one. Okay, this is the attachment and this is the link defect. Okay, make sure you are using that one. Okay, so we'll see why. No, we'll see just in a moment, like why you have to use this one. Okay, so any questions so far in the test lab module? Again, there are so many things here. Okay, use only, mostly you'll be, using this, attachment, use attachment link in this, particular set. So this is a set you have to use in this set, not for the whole, the project. So this is like whole project you're using if you don't want to use it. And test plan, there's no reason to use test plan. Test plan attachment unless you have screenshots of your test cases or something like that. But otherwise, there's no reason to open bugs from the test plan too. So that is really not required. Whatever you have to do is from the test lab module. Test plan is only used to create test cases. That's it. Nothing else. If you're using other than that, of course you can use it. No big deal. But again, you'll forget it where you actually put, because there's too many things the same name. Okay, you just don't want to use it. Okay, so once let's go to the next module then. So defects, we know defects. You have to create defects. Okay, and assign it to the particular developer or particular concerned person who is responsible for this. Okay, so let's say here, let's create a new defect. There was one interview question: how many ways you can create a defect? So there are multiple ways to create defects. Okay, the one is from the defects module. Okay, this is how you can create. And requirements are always, it's done by the product owner or business analyst. Okay, so the second way of creating defect is go to the test lab module, and when you're running it, actually, let's say you're running this set, right? Okay, so here also you can open this defect. See this? You can create defects from here too. Okay, so there are multiple ways. You can also create defects from the test plan module. Really not required, but you can do that too. Go to here. See this, go to link defect. Oops, that is not even required. Go to here and link defects, you can create this. Okay, it's not required. So another multiple ways to open the defects. Okay, so we'll stick to only one here. Okay, you can open here and click on new defect. Say we'll open the shipping and handling fee. Okay, and they have to fill up all this information as usual. Who is the SI, who is the right person to fix this issue, and what's the browser, what's the category, defect. And this automatically will be your name, dictated in which version. You know the product area to do this. In priority, just put in medium. So this is the similar thing with what we talk about priority and severity. Priority is how soon the defect should get fixed, and severity is what's the impact of the bug. Okay, so here in this case, status, you see the status, it's new and you cannot open this. The problem in the HPLN is you cannot open defect with the open status. You have to open into new and change it to open status. Okay, so you have to remember that. And if it is reproducible, yes. If it's no, then you have to put it no. And if you are using no, you have to be very careful. You need to check with the developer. You have to call him, or you have to go to the desk and show him why it is not reproducible. It's showing up in your machine, but it's not coming up anywhere else. You have to be very specific on that. If you're saying it's not reproducible. In this few filled by developer. This release, you can, if you know it, you can put it, or you have to check with lead and put the information there. Okay, and we'll just put here. Okay, and you want to put that screenshot. We have this open, just use this. So we'll try to open the same defect actually. This is the defect. And you want to highlight this. If you have done that, can you use this? Okay, now again, this has good option. You can insert image. See here, go ahead and click on image, upload option. Once you upload, now see if you have this. Okay, now what you can do is you can change here. The option is size. Let's say put it 50. This is good, right? This is viewable, and click on add. So once you've done that, you see this screenshot has been added. And what you want to do is click on submit. Okay, good. So we have successfully, created this defect. Now you have to remember that you have to change this to open. Without opening, this makes no sense. Because the email doesn't go to the developer, and even if you send an email to the developer, they don't care because it says this new status is not my problem, right? Now, again, if such kind of questions comes, your boss will follow up with you, and it's really not a good idea if boss is following with you. Okay, so you have to make sure all these are right. Okay, so once you have done that, you can see this in the attachment section. You have attached some screenshot. Linked entities. Let's say there are plenty of defects. Okay, you want to link it. The reason you have this link, sometimes what happens, developer rejects this defect. They say this is, no, this is an issue which is opened by another team. But that defect is a little bit different. It's based on their team, and it's based on their functionality. The developer said to you that if that defect gets fixed, this defect also get fixed, right? That's a very good thing. So in that case, you want to link this defect to that defect so that, once that gets fixed, you want to follow up to the developer, and see that this gets fixed. So that's the reason you can attach multiple defects here. Okay. Or if there are, duplicate defects or, triplicate defects that been opened from the different team, you want to link it and make sure, okay, it's your application is working fine. Okay, they might be testing something else. They might be doing UAT testing, or they might be doing something else. Okay, not related to QA, but their defect was somehow, related to our defect because of the same functionality, same feature, and the same core level, right? So that because of, fixing of that defect, these defects also get fixed. That's the reason you have this option. And others, you also can link different, requirements too. If there is any requirement based on the defect, so that's the reason you have this option. And you can view this development activity and history. You can view this history. Okay, so that's how you can use this, defects model. Okay, so somebody asked a question, right? How do we link this to our test cases? So that's a very good question. So now we have created defect. We did nothing. If you're not linking it, your lead will be asking you how many defects you have opened. So 4, but I don't see anyone, right? So that's a good thing that they don't see anything because you are not linked anything. So they cannot figure it out which defect it belongs to which test case, right? You have written plenty of test cases and you have opened 4 defects. Now it gets really a lot of confusion when you're opening too many defects because you have to find which test case does it fail and which one has to link. So here, let's see here, 262. Okay, this is the 262, and I'll just go to test lab. Okay, so very good. So we'll go to the test lab and what? This one, you have to use this one. Okay, and click on link defects. And here, if you see this, here link existing defects. Defect number 262. Okay. Oh, this is the defect. Okay, this is the defect. And click on OK. Now once you have clicked OK, there's a chain icon shows up here. Okay. Now it's really not showing up because you didn't refresh. Let's refresh it. Okay. Now you see this, the chain icon shows up here. Okay. Now that means this test case is linked with your existing defects. Okay. Go to the defects module. You see here chain icon. Okay. You don't see it. Okay. Here's the chain icon. Okay. This chain icon shows up that your defect is linked with the test cases. That's the important thing. Does it make sense? So somebody asked actually, how to link. So that's the reason that you have to link your defect with this. You can link defects to the requirements. Yes, two ways. You can link from here. Either you can link from here. Okay. You see this link from requirement? Want to link requirement ID? You can do that. Or you can go ahead and click on, so obviously, you don't want to use requirements too much because, it's not really, but you can do that. Here, if you go here and we just go to the link defects and you can link defect here. See this, a lot of defects are linked. So that's how, there's two ways to do it. Either you can go ahead and from the defect section, or you can go to the requirements and link that. It's better to do it from here. If you know the requirement ID, it's always a good idea to use this option more frequently, because these modules, test plan, test lab, test defects module, whole and soul belongs to testers or QA analyst or QA engineer. Okay, this requirements module, whole and soul belongs to product owner or business analyst. Okay, so you really don't want to mess up with other people work. You can mess up your people work, and that's your problem. But if you're messing up, some other people work, it's not really a very good idea. So it's you don't want to use too much, okay, unless you know what you're trying to do. So I hope nobody, I hope this is one homework pending, right? I hope nobody deleted that user story. Let's see here. So any questions so far in this HPLM? If you need access, you have to check with, Tagore and see if you can get access for the HPLM. Okay, that's pretty good to check people who have done homework. Very good. Yeah, nobody deleted this user story. That's good. Okay, not many people have written, but yeah, that's fine. Unless you guys didn't delete the user story, right? So that's good. So homework is a secondary thing. Okay, first you need to know, what you do's or don'ts, right? Work is a later thing. If you don't know what do's and don'ts, then that will be a problem. Okay, good. Okay. On which module you have to log in. There's no like module you only log in it once. You have to see this, there is only one URL. There's nothing like modules here. Okay, you're having just one URL, and in that URL you have to log in, and modules you can navigate once you log in. So most probably it will get saved where you left. Okay, normally that, so if you left on defects and log out, so most probably you'll be opening in the defects modules, or if you saved in requirements and logged out, so most probably you should show your requirements. So it will be that case, but not necessary. You can log in, you have to log in on URLs, not which. So somebody asked the question, right? So which project you have to select, you have to figure it out which project you're working on, so that you have to check with the lead and see which project. Okay, that will be in, you have to go here in the test plan and see which project it belongs to you, right? There are so many projects here. See this, these are the project actually. Okay, it's not that simple like Rally. The Rally was pretty simple. Project is pretty much in one place, and the user stories are pretty much one place. So that's really good thing. But here the project is all over the place, right? All over the place, and you have to figure it out which project. Once you figure it out which project, then you have to start write your test cases. It makes sense. And which project you'll be working on is again whole and soul based. I don't know which project you'll be working on. Okay, it depends. You have to check with your lead, and or if, yeah, mostly lead will be helpful for you. If not, check with a colleague. Colleague will help you out. If lead is not good, it can help you out with the colleagues. And if you don't want to interact always with your boss. Okay, so make sure you don't want to go small information for small things. You don't want to go. It's not really good idea because boss don't like issues. Whatever issues you have to solve within the team, within the people. Okay, so make sure you understand that. Any more questions? Okay, so don't get too much into HPLM. Okay, yeah, you have to get knowledge, you have to understand it, the process and modules, because I don't know, you might be also using HPLM in your project. But it's not necessary, nobody gives some guarantee. Right now you'll be using HPLM at your job, you have to use HPLM. Nobody gives guarantee, and I don't even give guarantee. You don't know which tool you'll be using it. So you want to get used to the project, I'm sorry, the process. Process means creating test cases, executing the test cases, and reporting defects. That will be same all across the tool. So you don't, need to worry about anything else because you know the process. It will be somewhere else. Okay, there might be some module or some insignificant place or something, where you can write your test cases. But okay, you might be using anything like ClearQuest. You might be using some ClearQuest tool or Zephyr. So there's one more tool, Zephyr. Okay, Bugzilla. Bugzilla. A lot of tools here. So nobody knows which tool you'll be using it. So at the end of the day, you have to just use your knowledge on this one. Based on this knowledge, you have to plan accordingly. So that's the important thing. Nobody really knows what tool you'll be using at the end of the day. Make sense? Okay. If no questions, can we close this class for today? So tomorrow, we'll discuss about. Tomorrow we'll talk about this QTP, just an introduction of QTP and see it's about regression testing, but some little knowledge, and we'll see a little bit code too. How to, it's not how to write the code, but just some examples and see, if it's good for you. If it's helpful, you can move it also, UFT or you want to stick with QA, and it's up to you. Okay, thank you guys.